Hi, everybody. Thank you for stopping by Living to Do's review of Married at First Sight, Season 15, Episode 18, The San Diego Reunion. So, let's get started with that reunion. Before I get started, please like the video, subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate it, and I thank you in advance. Okay, this reunion. Exciting. So many things went on. The whole group is sitting with Kevin Fraiser and they're talking, and Kristen says she learned that she needs to enunciate less. Alexa recognized maybe she needs to enunciate more. She's learned how to say the word celebrate, and she realized she was saying it wrong. Kevin asked Stasha and Nate about having so much sex scenes on TV, and they explain Pantygate, or I think Nate is still lying that the remote on Stasha's underwear was broken, and that's why he couldn't turn it off, and it kept vibrating through dinner. I think he's still lying. Whatever. Kevin wanted to know if everybody was on good terms. Now, at first I thought he meant with the couples, but I didn't really know he meant with the group. He must have known something because he kept prodding. He wanted to know, did anybody block anybody on social media? Someone gave you the heads up to ask that question. And interesting enough, Nate said that Justin unfollowed everybody. Nate said that. And I was just wondering, when he's asked, did anybody block anybody on social media, Nate should have said he didn't. Let everybody speak for themselves. But he offered up that Justin did. And Justin said he unfollowed Nate because he was fake. He thought he was fake. He thought they were going to build a bond. In fact, that's what he thought Nate said to him when they first got to the apartments. And later he had no time for Justin. And Justin was saying, he's not his therapist. But Justin said, when Ben was having issues in his marriage, he got involved. So you were involved in Ben's relationship, but not Justin's. And Nate said that Justin needed attention, and he thought it was weird, and he called Justin a crybaby, and he said he got personal, and that's why he unfollowed him. Nate said that Justin made 2 passes at him before the show got started. And Nate tried to defend himself by saying, I don't even talk to you. Wait a minute, it didn't make sense. He said you made these passes before the show started. And you, Nate, are saying, I don't even talk to you. You talked to him then, and you're mad that he unfollowed you. If you didn't talk to him, you wouldn't be mad that he unfollowed you. But you are so mad that when you were asked the question, you answered. Only Justin unfollowed, about Justin and who he's following and unfollowing. If you don't care nothing about it, you wouldn't even speak on it. But you brought it up. So I don't believe you. I'm almost inclined to believe Justin at this point. You brought it up. You're hurt. You are still wanting to know answers on why he unfollowed you. You keep pressing the point like a hurt girlfriend who needs closure. That's weird. Well, then Kevin Fraiser was pointing out that you can unfollow people, and I mean, you can. What happened was Nate said he complimented him and he was okay with that. He was comfortable in his sexuality, which was interesting because he just said he was comfortable in his sexuality, but he didn't say what his sexuality was. If you were bisexual and you're comfortable with it, that would explain a lot, but I think somebody didn't ask the right questions. Um, But Nate kept pressing him for an answer why he unfollowed him. And Justin didn't like the way he's being asked. He told Nate, "You better take some of that bass out your voice, boy." He called him a boy. And then Nate said something like, "What you gonna do about it?" And then Justin stood up. You know he's 7 feet tall, but he's a bone. Stood up and approached Nate. Ben got up and got in Justin's face and like kind of pushed him back. And Kevin Fraiser got in front of Nate, but Nate never got out of his seat. So he wasn't the aggressor. Skinny Justin was the aggressor. Justin appeared different. He didn't appear as soft as he was before. He seems like he wasn't going to back down from a fight. He kept on, when Nate would say something and he wanted a piece of him. He wasn't backing down. I don't think Justin would have won a fight against Nate. He wouldn't have won a fight against anybody there. Can you just imagine if Justin got in a fight with anybody? He walked off the stage with Alexis and she calmed him down. She told him this is not who you are. And when she thought he was calm, she asked him if he could self-regulate, and he said he could, and he walked back out into the stage with the rest of the couples. And again, first thing first, Nate was pressing him again about answer the question why he unfollowed people. And he said he unfollowed Kristen. Oh, while Justin was away, the group was talking amongst themselves. And when they were talking amongst themselves, I think it was, what's her name? Morgan, who said something that he was just hurt. That's why he's doing these low blows. And Kristen and everybody was saying he's just projecting. I was wondering, what is he projecting? That he had a crush on Nate? Was he projecting that? And Stasha was, she said something. We all don't believe him, right? I don't know who to believe, actually. Because it doesn't seem like Justin's playing games. But he comes back on the stage. He sits down. Nate grills him again about answer the question. And then he goes and explained that he unfollowed Kristen because he thought she was two-faced it too. She acts one way, I guess in some areas she acts totally different. I mean, we all can have to code switch sometimes, so I don't know what the big deal was. But then he said he unfollowed Lindy and Morgan because they all were like going to go on a hike. I guess they all agreed that they were going to go on a hike. And then I don't know, it seems like the girls became uncomfortable with the idea of going with Nate, I'm sorry, with Justin on a hike. So it sounded like the hike was Lindy and Morgan and Justin, which is weird. Why would those three be going on a hike? But anyway, he felt that they were uncomfortable with it, and they were uncomfortable with being on a hike with him for some reason, and they didn't take him, and so he unfollowed them. So, girls, he unfollowed you because he was hurt by your actions that you did against him. And there was no communication, hurt feelings, and he unfollowed you. That made sense. He unfollowed Stasha because he doesn't like her husband. And he didn't, he likes her okay, but he didn't think it would be a good idea to follow her. I thought this fight was going to be on Reunion Part 2 to keep us strung along to watch everything. I didn't know what it was going to be like in the first segment or of the show. That was crazy. And I think Justin he comes off a little different now, a little hardened. After that, they met with couples. And the first couple was Lindy and Miguel. They're still together. Mindy. No, Lindy. Lindy is so happy. She was dressed. I liked her dress. Okay, it was nice for her. They're still together. She felt like a princess. I thought she looked like a princess. She says that the relationship is easy. They're getting along pretty good. She says things like she's evolving as a human. She's not having those outbursts as much. She took his last name. Well, she hyphenated it. So that was a compromise that she made. And that taking of the name was very important to Miguel. Though they did mention baby McGindy, and the mere mention of the baby, Mindy was, sorry, I keep calling her Mindy. Her name Lindy. Lindy was like, no, no, no. She says if it was a real baby, that it would have been different. But I knew that that couple was going to make it. They were my couple to make it from day one. So they seem very happy. It seems very natural, and I'm just happy for them. That's great. Stasha and Nate were spoken to next, and Kevin was asking them questions about, even when they first met, and Stasha said that she didn't hear any bird calls. I guess her friends were going to do these bird calls, and that was going to be a hint for her to run for some reason. So she didn't hear the bird calls before she came down the aisle, before she saw Nate for the first time. That's a good one. I like that idea. Nobody would know what you were doing. Oh, I'm glad she shared that with us. So they're still together, Stasha and Nate. They live together, but they live in two different places. They live, I guess it's her home and his home, or his apartment. I don't know why he has to live there, but he has a lease for another 8 months. So they spend a couple of weeks at his place and a couple of weeks at her place. He lives in downtown San Diego and she lives in the suburbs. So since I wish I knew the address on that lease, because I saw two different bedrooms when he first showed his apartment to Stasha after the honeymoon, and then his last night before decision day, were two different apartments. So I wasn't sure he had a place to live at all, but apparently he has a lease, and they're making it work. Stasha wants to stay with him at all times. He says that Stasha is everything that he asks for. But Stasha says she's not getting the mental stimulation from him. But he's trying, and the things that they battle about is she doesn't think he goes deeper emotionally, though he is making progress in that area. Kevin asked her if she was relinquishing control, and no, it's still a struggle. I know every little thing she's probably controlling, and he's trying to establish himself, probably a little bit of dominance in his home. And I'm sure she would want that too, but she has to trust you. And I just don't know if you're trustworthy yet. I still think you are a con man, and this is just a long con for you. I just don't believe you yet. But they're still together. But it's really weird how Stasha needs to be with him at all times. I think she also needs a man that is below her, maybe financially, status-wise, maybe in age. Because if you need to be with a man all the time, he would get sick of that. And he would probably, wiggle away from you. And I think that constant need to be around him all the time is not very healthy. It's possible abandonment issues, though she abandoned herself by getting that, whatever she got from her mother, emancipated from her mother at a young age. But there could have been a reason for that, and there could still be abandonment feelings. So maybe that's why, or a man cheated on her before, but that's really acting very needy to have to be around him all the time. She did get an I love you from Nate, and she just needs some more satisfying. She needs to, her moments with him to be, needs to be more satisfying. It needs to be more consistent. Now, she didn't really go into it other than she likes um thought-provoking conversations, and their kid timeline is off. Of course, she wants kids sooner than later, and he kind of wants to wait. So we'll have to see about that. Okay, the next couple was Kristen and Mitch. Now, Kristen said something interesting. She never thought that Mitch was not attracted to her. She never thought that. Even though he said that, she just never, I guess she never thought her face was ugly or anything like that. And she still believes that he's attracted to her. Um, but when he said he wasn't attracted to you, you should have believed him. But if he didn't act on it really. And then I guess they got a little tipsy or whatever, and they were kissing a little bit, and he just went from 0 to 100 with her, and she just wanted a slow build up before they actually consummated their marriage. And he just got excited. He does regret saying that he was not attracted to her, but he was just easily excitable, and that's why he goes from 0 to 100. And he says he's still attracted to her as of reunion day. Kristen said it would always be a no, the door is not ajar. And she said she would have said no on decision day. And I'm like, Kristen, I don't know if I believe you. If you would have said no if asked first, then why later would you say the door could still be ajar? It doesn't add up. I just think you were trying to save face. And I'll give you that, but it didn't make sense. Okay, so Kevin also spoke to Ben and Morgan. And first things first, she's been a nurse for 3 years. Okay, great. So Kevin asked, do you think that if did Justin do you dirty for having his conversations with him on speakerphone for, what's her name, Alexis to hear? And he said, yeah. But Alexa, it was never Alexa's business to tell anything. It just wasn't. And she was wrong for that. So Morgan says she kind of regrets things ended early. I don't know if they were right for one another. Ben keeps saying that he's not ready. He has work to do. He needs healing. And I don't know. Maybe he does. I know he needs to heal from this situation. That is for sure. You have been humiliated on television. That's going to take some time. He says he's not dating. And that's pretty good. Maybe that's good. Though I'm sure his DMs are blowing up. But they seem friendly now with one another. He asked her out a month after everything blew up. They'll just be friends from now on. They'll never be anything more than that. The next couple that Kevin Fraiser spoke to was Justin and Alexis. And when they came in, I wondered if this was filmed before the little tussle between Nate and Justin. They came in all calm. Nobody mentioned it. So I just thought, was this little segment taped before the little outburst? When they came in, Kevin Fraiser said that they were the definition of an emotional roller coaster. I guess he heard some rumors that they consummated their marriage during their honeymoon, and Justin, he came out with it and said they did on their first night, their wedding night, and the third night of their honeymoon. And Alexis was making faces like, did we really? We tried. And it was just like, I don't know. She's always putting this man down. He was saying, yeah, they had sex. He did penetrate. That was having sex. He had an orgasm. She did too, or at least it sounded like it, he said. And whatever it was, apparently it wasn't satisfying, or she's taken another opportunity to put him down, because the faces that she was making and not really confirming anything. Uh, and he thinks that she's just manipulating the situation, not telling the truth about it. And he also said that, she threw shade at him at every time she could. In the confessionals, he's all speaking nicely about her, and he was really selling it. In fact, it was too much. She, on the other hand, was on the opposite end of the spectrum. She was like always saying the meanest things. That she consistently said mean things about him, things she shouldn't be saying to people, things that should be kind of private, maybe, or at least not telling us. And the way and and then to not think that he's going to hear these things. I'm sure that guy is hurt. And this is probably why he's acting this way. He's protecting himself, and he ain't letting nothing go. He's exposing everybody. He's taking you all down. So I think, I know he's hurt, but I think there's a lot of truth in what he's saying. He said that they're not together, and it was his choice. And then she was like, is it? Like, it's not your choice. It was my choice. And that she had text messages to prove it. He said that she called him drunk one night. She likes to go out and drink. So it made sense that she would call him while she was out drunk, wanting to get back, or at least having sex with him or something. And then she's denying it, and denying it. And he said that she's gaslighting him, manipulating the truth. And he just called her a compulsive liar, and that's where the episode ended. And we're going to pick up again, I guess, with them finishing their conversation on part 2. Well, we'll have to see what's going to happen there. And I think there's another dust up between Justin and Nate that they showed in the coming attractions. So another good episode. Not that that should be good, but exciting. I'll just call it exciting. I want to see what went down and how it went down. But that is it for now. I thank you all for staying with me to the end. Please like the video and subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it, and I thank you in advance. But I gotta go because I got living to do. Bye.